Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Elizibar. This is the Mighty Crusaders, The Shield. There's a colon in there somewhere. Number 1. Let's flip in here. Yep, Mighty Crusaders, The Shield, number 1. You can see it right down there in that corner. Hold on, I got something keeping me from moving the book around the way I want to. Let me get this stuff out of the way. There we go. Now we have full freedom of motion. Before we really get into this review, I have to tell you a little bit of the backstory. That way you can put my commentary into the proper context. So, back in early May, like I think it was the 6th, I want to say, Rob Liefeld walked away from the project. One of the variant covers was leaked on the internet, and he's like, well, if we're going to be spoiling like my major plot points here, I'm out. And he was out. He turned in all the pages he had done. And I got a comment from the writer here, David Gallagher, on YouTube here. He says, thank you for reading The Shield. There are 20 pages, which is about average comic book length. 20 pages, there we go. I kind of guesstimated, or actually on my stream I counted the pages, and I think I got to 20, so it makes sense. People often forget that the classic Claremont Byrne run of the X-Men were only 17 pages long. I like the Mighty Crusaders, and I'm eager to follow up. I love the Mighty Crusaders too. That's why I bought this book. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't have bought the book. So, there you go. Rob Liefeld walked away from the project after turning in the work he'd been paid for. They hired David Gallagher, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, to come in and put a story on top of the completed work. Alright, so there's the backstory. The good news is, I pretty much like all the art. I mean, that looks pretty cool. It's very Liefeldian with the two guns and all that, but it's pretty cool. I'm trying to find a good action. Yeah, you know what? Here, this 2-page action sequence looks pretty cool. I'm down. I am game. It looks cool. 100% nice, man. I could be really nitpicky if I wanted, like, oh, where are the backgrounds or whatever. Like, the space that they're fighting in is very abstract and all that. And that's kind of a bummer. I would have liked a little more definition for where they're fighting. On the other hand, I really like this panel with just like the glowing sunset coming through behind him. Like, I thought that was pretty cool looking. So that's the good. I like the art. And I think the writer did the best he could with what he had to work with here, which wasn't that much. Because a lot of these pages, there's a lot of pages in this book, and I can't show them all to you, that feel like they were meant to be variant covers or they were promo pages. You know, they're not the material that directly contributes to the story. And so having to turn like a page of somebody posing with a gun into a story page, that's not an easy thing to do. I think he did a pretty good job of this. And if I had to like give this like some kind of rating out of 10 or something, it would probably be like a 6 out of 10. Like, it's very much readable. There's some fun action in it. I got to see some of my favorite characters, including the Black Hood right there. So I definitely enjoyed that, seeing all these familiar faces from my childhood, that kind of stuff. So maybe the book is banking a little bit on the nostalgia factor, you know? But I kind of liked it. It's a shame that things went down the way they did. And the plot line, I don't know necessarily if it, on its own, makes a whole lot of sense. Because we've got like this great panel right here. Right? This is the original The Shield. The guy who's actually invulnerable. Then over here, in this fight sequence, that's his, I think Joe is his son. So that's like the 4th or 5th shield right there, wearing a suit of armor that makes him indestructible. Not to be confused with, you know how this is going here, not to be confused with Lancelot Strong, who also wears basically the same getup, because he was the Shield at some point. Through the discussion and the commentary here, Joe Higgins fights like some bad guys that want the suit and stuff, and it's competent if basic. I don't really have any complaints there. But the whole framing narrative with Victoria, what's her name, who's also the Shield. God, we have like 5 shields in this book. She's like talking to the other Mighty Crusaders here, and apparently we're like yanking people out of like the Mighty Crusader multiverse. I didn't even know that was a thing. You know, I kind of hoped that whatever happened in this series would tie into the way the last Mighty Crusaders series, written by, I think it was written by Ian Flynn, ended, where we set up like this big bad guy, and then that was it. Kind of hoping we get back to that. Yeah, but we didn't. So all in all, I think that the train wreck I was expecting did not occur. But I don't think I can tell you that this was a very good book for like the general person to pick up. Like if you don't know who these characters are already, there's absolutely no joy to be had here. This book doesn't really tell you anything about these characters. Oh sure, we get like little bubbles up here that introduce their names. But that doesn't really tell you who these people are. It doesn't tell you why we have 3 different people named the Shield in this book. So I think it was a rough one, man. They did the best they could. They turned out something okay. I liked the art. The action was pretty satisfying. I'm going to show one more thing off, and I hope it's not too much. Just because I wanted to show Victoria right there. Maybe I should have showed the other one, but I kind of like that one because the way the lighting hits on her hair and stuff looks pretty cool. So while Joe is beating people up in the middle of the book, and we've got another Shield in the first page of the book who's never referenced again, the Mighty Crusaders who have been pulled out of the multiverse or something are now voting on how they want to deal with Joe. And we end on a cliffhanger, which promises future books, which maybe we're going to get because the writer, when he left that comment on YouTube, said he's eager to follow up. So maybe there's another book coming out, maybe not, I'm not sure. I don't know. This feels like a weird thing to review because it exceeded my expectations, but I don't know if other people are going to like it as much as I did. Does that make sense? Because that's kind of how I feel about this particular book. Alright, I think that's enough rambling. You all take care of yourselves. You have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Don't know if I can tell you to check this book out unless you already like the Mighty Crusaders, in which case you are probably already going to check it out anyway. Bye-bye.